Dr. Zwaxthala's 4 eye stalks swiveled in perfect synchronization as she stared at the human slumped against the medical bay wall. The creature, Marcus, she reminded herself, they had names, was bleeding from what appeared to be 17 separate lacerations across his torso, left arm dangling at an unnatural angle, and sporting a gash across his forehead that would have killed most species through blood loss alone. "It's just a scratch," Marcus said, attempting to wave dismissively with his good arm. "Really, Doc, I've had worse paper cuts." 3 of Zwaxthala's eye stalks immediately focused on her emergency communicator while the 4th maintained visual contact with the human. This was her first rotation aboard the Harmony's Edge, a mixed-species exploration vessel, and her crystalline medical training had not prepared her for this. "Medical emergency to all stations," she broadcasted, her translator converting her harmonic frequencies into standard galactic. "Human crew member experiencing catastrophic system failure. Requesting immediate backup from all available medical personnel." "Whoa, hey now," Marcus protested, trying to stand up. He swayed dangerously, leaving a smear of red against the pristine white wall. "No need to get everyone worked up. I just need a band-aid and maybe some of that numbing spray you used on Jenkins last week." Zwaxthala's crystals began resonating at a frequency that typically indicated severe distress. Jenkins had received treatment for what humans called a splinter, a microscopic fragment of wood that had penetrated 0.003 millimeters into his epidermis. She had spent 4 hours in intensive counseling after that incident. The medical bay doors slid open with a pneumatic hiss, admitting Dr. Vorthak, the ship's manted head physician. His compound eyes took in the scene instantly, the human casualty, the pools of crimson liquid, and Zwaxthala's increasingly rapid color fluctuations. "By the Hive Queen's antennae," Vorthak chittered, his mandibles clicking in what his species used to express shock. "How is it still conscious?" "Still conscious?" Marcus laughed, then winced as the movement aggravated his injuries. "Buddy, I once finished a marathon with a broken toe. This is nothing." Dr. Krilthun, the ship's aquatic medical specialist, flowed into the room in his mobility suit, his tentacles already reaching for emergency surgical implements. "The human appears to be in severe shock," he gurgled through his translator. "It's clearly experiencing massive system-wide hallucinations. No sentient being could remain lucid with these injuries." "I'm not hallucinating," Marcus protested. "Look, I know it looks bad, but I've been through worse. Remember that time on Kepler 442b when I got mauled by those crystal wolves? Now that required stitches." The 3 alien doctors exchanged what could only be described as horrified glances across their vastly different sensory systems. Zwaxthala's files indicated that incident had resulted in Marcus requiring 17 surgical procedures and 3 organ replacements. He had been back on duty within 2 weeks, claiming he was right as rain. "We need to contact the Galactic Medical Council immediately," Vorthak declared, his mandibles chattering with urgency. "This level of trauma resistance suggests either unknown genetic modification or possible exposure to consciousness-altering substances." "Oh, come on," Marcus groaned, finally accepting Dr. Krilthun's insistence that he lie down on the examination table. "You guys are being way too dramatic. My grandmother used to patch up worse cuts with duct tape and determination." Dr. Zwaxthala's harmonic frequency reached a pitch that caused several monitoring devices to short-circuit. The concept of grandmother in human culture implied an elderly, fragile member of their species. The idea that such a being could perform medical procedures on injuries that would constitute a galactic emergency was beyond her comprehension. "Duct tape?" Vorthak whispered, his compound eyes reflecting the medical bay's lights like a kaleidoscope of terror. "They use adhesive construction materials for wound closure." Captain Threllick's voice crackled through the intercom, his avian trill carrying notes of concern. "Medical bay, report. We're reading massive biometric anomalies from your section." "Captain," Vorthak responded, his mandibles clicking rapidly, we're dealing with a Code 7 medical emergency. The human Marcus has sustained injuries that should have resulted in immediate system shutdown, yet continues to remain active and even argumentative. That's because I'm fine. Marcus called out, though his voice was noticeably weaker than before. Just need some antiseptic and maybe one of those energy drinks from the commissary. Dr. Krilthun's tentacles were working frantically, applying pressure to wounds while simultaneously running diagnostic scans. The human's pain tolerance exceeds all known parameters, he reported. Neural activity suggests it's experiencing agony equivalent to having its limbs slowly dissolved in acid, yet it maintains conversational demeanor. Dissolved in acid? Marcus perked up with interest. Oh, that reminds me of the time I accidentally fell into that acid pool on Titan Station. Now that stung a bit. The three doctors fell silent. Zwaxthala's crystals shifted from distress yellow to what could only be described as existential crisis purple. The humans, these impossible beings from the death world called Earth, continued to redefine everything they thought they knew about biology, pain, and basic survival instincts. Dr. Zwaxthala, came Captain Threllick's voice again, now carrying unmistakable amusement. I'm uploading Human Medical Protocol 7 to your files. Standard treatment for what they call minor injuries. As the data streamed across her display, Zwaxthala's 4 eye stalks focused on readings that suggested the appropriate treatment for Marcus's scratch included cleaning the wounds, applying synthetic skin patches, administering mild pain medication, which humans typically refused, and monitoring for signs of infection over the next few days. The protocol also notes, the captain continued with what sounded suspiciously like a chuckle, that humans may attempt to return to duty immediately following treatment. This is considered normal behavior. Marcus grinned weakly as the alien doctors began their treatment, their movements tentative and careful as if they were handling some kind of unstable explosive. See? I told you guys it was just a scratch. You should have seen what happened to Rodriguez last month when he got that splinter. Dr. Zwaxthala's harmonic frequency reached subsonic levels. She was beginning to understand why the ship's previous medical staff had requested transfers to deep space exploration missions. At least in the void of space, she mused, the only thing trying to kill you was the universe itself. Not a species that considered near-fatal injuries to be character-building experiences.